What's going up, everybody? Bobby Faha here. Obviously, no sheets today. And I just want to start off with a quick thing. I'm ready to get into the games, and we're doing this like, look, okay, sheets, anybody who buys our packages, I really suggest you buy the SaberSim package so you have access to everything. Even if you have Goldie's projections, but they are not going to be there for FanDuel entirely at the moment. Sheets will be gone some days. He's a human being. We all do this. Everybody is gone some days. And I have been dealing with a lot of angry, very bitter, very not friendly people in Discord about Sheets not being here today. And I just want to say, he's human. We already have Goldie, which is the best projection in the industry because it is everyone's projection combined. If I first started playing DFS, that's what I would want. What else would I want? I'd want to use the full SaberSim package, having all three projections right there, loading, seeing my core, getting Rody's plays in there. I would want to do it like that. I love this community. I love everybody in it. And we're not going to have people, though, who are going to freak out every time Sheets is gone for a day. He's allowed to have days off. He's just human. And that's just the way it is. But Goldie has the best projections that are the entire industry aggregate. I don't know what else we can do. We also offer the SaberSim. I suggest anyone who does join up doesn't get the cheap package for $39.99 and just get our stuff. You're literally missing out on an extra probably 10 times the value of what it really is between the projections, what Goldie's done, Sheets, which is here in 99% of the time, and then also the SaberSim pack, and also my plays, whatever, anything we have, and also Rody's plays. And there's a lot in it that I just am tired of just going through with everybody. Every time Sheets is gone, I can't spend 3 hours DMing back and forth with people. I just can't do it. I'm trying to do it. I want to do a better job of providing better content. So that's what I'm focused on. So I just wanted to start off with that. With that said, what's up, guys? Let's get into the actual full slate. Got to have some major golf sweats going on too for the cut sweat. They could be sweats. We don't know what's going to happen over the weekend, but it's nice to have some sweats going on at least. A lot of the low-owned guys I took had really nice tournaments so far. Sheets did not win anything last night. No, he's lost every day this week, I believe he said. So he's human too. He's unbelievable. He's crushing it overall. But anyway, so I'm doing basically the same thing I did if you guys watched the earlier video. My favorite stacks are still, I like the Dodgers. I like Oakland, Cincinnati, and I'm filling in pieces with Arizona and St. Louis. Sorry, it's happening again. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. So those are the stacks that I'm using. I don't mind getting, if you get to a little bit of minis from the Angels, probably minis from Milwaukee for me are fine. Tampa Bay, I think, is an interesting tournament play as our mini White Sox, and Toronto, who I do have one full stack of, but outside of that, I'm not playing them. Just taking one shot against Castillo in one lineup on FanDuel. It is interesting because there's not a lot of really obvious glaring stacks that I like today that stand out as being so much superior to any other ones. So I'm really not going to fault you for pretty much whatever you want to do stack wise. I personally, that's my priority. Texas, Arizona, Colorado, Cincinnati, Oakland, and LA. That's pretty much it. My main pitchers tonight are going to be Manoah, DeGrom on DraftKings, Bieber, Nola. Those are a couple other guys that I'm using. I'm not getting too much Valdez. I have some Giolito, but I'm also using some Tampa bats on the other side of it. And everybody else is sort of fine, but it's one of those slates where you kind of have to take a stand because there's not an obvious stand to take. I know that everybody would say that Coors is. I don't think Coors is as obvious when it's 50 degrees and there's 12 mile an hour winds blowing in. It's just not as pretty. But I do like pieces of it, and I like trying to take some shots. So getting little 2-mans or 3-mans to complement my main stacks is the way that I'm treating that game. I am not fully stacking it much. I did bet the under in the game for $100, but that's just more because I do believe there's a chance it doesn't work out. I like Colorado better than Arizona for what it's worth. That's just where I'm at. Drop in any thoughts about NBA, MLB. I did put the wrong title in, so I'm going to correct that really quick. Sorry about this, guys, but drop in questions and thoughts. I would appreciate it. Is Eflin too? I understand it's the White Sox, and I actually like the White Sox side better. I am not playing Eflin. I don't have one lineup with Eflin. I don't mind it. I think that it's totally reasonable if you just look at numbers, but I don't personally like Eflin. How do you evaluate if a player's too pricey? If you just don't, if they're not as good as what you think that they're being charged, and the players around surrounding them usually give you a pretty good feel for it. When you're in the same range as guys who, well, they've been struggling this year, but Nola and Bieber are two like guys who are legitimately top of the Cy Young candidates every single year. So that's where I'm at. What stack type do I like for this slate? Good question, Kuba. I don't mind anything. I'm totally good with 5-mans today because I think anything's outside of Colorado is not going to be overly chalky. And so I'm totally good with any 5-mans. I also have some 4-2-2s and 4-3-1s. Those are mostly what I'm doing on DraftKings, not on FanDuel. But so that's the way I would do it. I think you could. I don't think this is the right kind of slate to try to go 3-3-2. You know what I mean? Maybe on FanDuel you could argue for it, but I don't think so. For me, it's going to be 4-2-1-1s, 4-2-2, 4-3-1s, 4-4s on FanDuel. DraftKings it'll be 5-3, 5-2-1, 5-1-1, 4-2-2, 4-3-1, and 4. Yeah, that's probably about it. Thank you very much, Joanne. Always appreciate it. Hopefully we can get some run going in golf. If you got anything exciting going, let me know, because I got some beautiful lineups. Unfortunately, I went for the crazy Percy play in the 555, and Percy was doing fine. He was right on -2 on the cut line. Yeah. Anyway, so a little frustrated that's going to happen by 555 because it's currently 12th. Oh my God, Percy's bogey. I'm dead. It was so annoying because I have Finau, Piercy, Goya, Toasty, Finau, and Rahm, and it just looked like it was going to just go nuts. What's up, Eric? Good to see you, my man. Hey, Eric, guess what I'm doing today? I am stacking me some Oakland. I'm going for it again. I'm not going to turn it down. I like that whole game. I really have all kinds of different exposure to everybody in that game. I think maybe there's a couple guys I could try and get just to make sure I have all the bases covered. But I like that game. So what my Coors exposure is no full stacks, only little complimentary ones. But the Oakland, I'm sort of on board with the Oakland, and part of it, again, I mentioned it earlier in the video. It's how they score. They have young guys with pop, and they have a ton of guys who can run. Ruiz has stole 5 bases in the last 2 games. You know what I mean? It's the way they do it that makes me feel very secure about playing them. Even if I don't mean secure like it'll work out tonight. I mean secure that it's the right play to make in the long run, that you want to be getting exposure to this low-owned, cheap team. And they're not going to be totally unowned. I also like that they're facing the Reds, of course, because they have no bullpen. They'll have a little bit of ownership, but nothing to take you off of them on this kind of a slate. So just want to throw that out there. By the way, Smotherman keeps getting to the top again, and he's in like 20% of my lineups. So hoping Smotherman can keep going. He's 1% on, so that one looked good. I like the Rooker, man. Let's go Rooker. Let's go, Phil. Let's see. There's a no sweat bonus in the 25-cent contest for FanDuel. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Oh, thanks, man, Eric. It's going to be getting much better and better. I appreciate the compliment. Good. Yeah, we're going to end up getting there. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, you get your money back people should do it. I can't play. I'm not allowed to play. But everybody should do it then. Absolutely. Thanks, Kuba. I appreciate it. Nice to positive feedback. I'm actually going to type that one into the thing. Positive feedback. Anyway, the projections, Sheets' projections are not coming out today. There's no Sheets today, so there's no Sheets projections. That's why I started the show off. If you guys were here, I was saying if you really want to do the package right, like get the full package, get the entire industry aggregate projections. So everybody in the industry is combined. That's what Goldie's projections are. That's amazing what he's built. So you get Goldie's projections. Then we have the SaberSim projections. Sheets is one man. He's not going to be here every single day. It's just not humanly possible. And he's here 99% of the time, even on the weekends. So it's really, really hard. So I'll tell you, look at Goldie's projections on the site. If you're a $39.99 member, I would tell everybody there's no way I would ever do the $39.99 package. I think it's a mistake. I think everybody should do the $64.99 package. Some people who are bigger players should do the $99.99 package. I just want to throw that out there. Anyway, okay. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Brendan just got off work. Favorite 2 stacks. I don't have a favorite 2. I have 5 that I'm mixing around. I like Oakland. I like the Dodgers. I like Cincy and Texas as primary stacks. I like Arizona and Colorado pieces to fill out those stacks, to fill out the lineups. Yeah, go ahead and play the Yankees. I have legitimately, there's not any team that I have less interest in. I think that's a terrible mistake personally. I just don't think that ever works out in your favor enough, and you just don't need to be that kind of different on this slate. I don't see why you would. So I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. You can do whatever you want, but to me, if there's one thing I would do, if you're starting to stack teams with 2.4 run totals, against the guy who's the best pitcher on the slate, just because it's a thing to do and it feels like a cool guy play, it's just stupid. Like, that's my personal take, is that it's just bad strategy. It's way overcompensation, and you're doing the cool thing. It's like a behind the back pass when you don't need to throw one. It's just, why are you doing it? So you need a miracle to get there. Even when you get there, you then need to surpass 7 other teams for something that happens once every 5 years against DeGrom. What are we really talking about here? I don't have any interest in that whatsoever. If you want to play a one-off, I'm not going to tell you it's wrong. I just have, even that, I don't see why you would. But yeah, somebody will probably get a hit. And if the Yankees score 2 runs early, I don't want to hear any piece of it. It's a huge slate. There's tons of things to pick from. I wouldn't play any of them. If anybody else wants to, go right ahead. I said almost any team I could talk myself into today. That is one team there is no way I could talk myself into. Anyway, let's see what else we got here. Sorry, guys. Does anybody want to talk any NBA? I'll tell you guys what I'm doing. I did post my lineups in the what's it called? In the premium and on the site. So I would suggest, if anybody's if you sort of see what I'm doing with the NBA. I'm preferring Ja as my spend up. I still think that we might get that giant Clay game. Maybe I'm reaching, but I don't think so. I think that I still am going to use some Schroeder for value. I don't care if you had no fantasy points in that 20 minutes. I'll take the value and use it as I will. I love Looney. He's probably my favorite play on the slate. I think you're playing one of Looney or Draymond in basically everything. I think Harrison Barnes is fine. I think the price for Keegan Murray is fine as a value. I think Desmond Bane is a really good play. I think that, Malik Monk and Sabonis, I think, are really interesting, thinking that maybe Fox is a little bit more limited, even though he started off 3 for 3 last time and had a big game. Maybe this is a game where those guys can get going a little bit. So that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm going to finish my builds unless there's any questions or anything. Oh, okay. There's OS asking about it. Let's talk some NBA. So I just talked through what I'm doing. What are you guys doing out there? What do you have any questions or thoughts about what I said? Is there anything we should talk about for NBA? Because I sort of gave away basically what I'm doing without giving my whole lineups away. But those are all the guys I'm playing, pretty much. I do have a little bit of Dylan Brooks, and that's pretty much it. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm a little scattered today because I'm trying to multitask, and it's crazy. Do I trust Manoa? I don't know if I trust. Trust is a strong word. It's the right play to me to make almost every time. I think that with his price, he should be the second most popular pitcher on the slate. And I am going to treat it like that. I don't see the reason for paying over 10K for all these tough matchups for anyone but DeGrom. And I don't see, you can make an argument for Castillo for sure, but like, I'm not going to make that argument because I'm going to stack against him a little bit. I just don't see the reason to fade. Like I actually look at it as like, why wouldn't I be doing that? If he was going to be 25% owned, I would have 50% of them. If he was going to be 10% owned, I'll probably end up with like 60 or 70% of them. I don't care. That's the way I play. He's an excellent pitcher. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball, or he will be one of the best pitchers in baseball for a long time. I mean, like top 25. I don't mean number 1 or 2 or something like that. But it was encouraging to see him find himself a little bit against the Yankees the other night. He's had some really bad outings and he's had some really good ones. I am completely willing to embrace any of that variance overall against, even though it's a good Seattle team. I just think Manoah is an excellent pitcher, and I'm going to side with the long-term results and not really give a shit if he gets blown up tonight. Then so what? I lose those lineups. Looney has been incredible, and it makes perfect sense as to why. So it's nice to see Looney doing well. UCLA guy. If anybody wants to have some fun, you should see the high school clips of like Looney. He looked like freaking like, I don't know, like a Carmelo or KD or something. He would just like pull up jumper, step backs. Like it was crazy. And even when he was UCLA, he was sort of like, shoot that mid-range shot all the time and was a good offensive rebounder, but we didn't know he'd be like this. Pretty wild. Yeah, Eric, if you want to not play Manoah, there's a million other options. So I have no problem if you want to do that. I am high on Manoah for what it's worth. That's just me though. That's what I'm doing. I'm not buying into these early season things, and it's it's one of those things where I'm a high variance player. I play tournaments and I stick to things that I believe in. If I believe the long term result is that Manoah is one of the best pitchers on this slate, I've got to bet on him at 6,900. It's just hard for me not to find a reason to. But yeah, you could totally exit. I mean, that's fine. Have I been watching the NFL draft? A little bit. I'll watch the sum up of it. I'm not all that excited about it personally. This is to be honest, I think it's probably one of the worst drafts in years. I like Bryce Young. I think everybody else is a question mark. I actually like Stroud better than most people did, but apparently not. Apparently other people like him as number 2. But I do really like Bryce Young. I don't get excited about a lot of stuff in this draft. And there were some interesting moves and stuff. I have no idea what the hell Houston was thinking. I understand like you're getting a great player right away, like a guy with real potential, but to give up next year's first round pick, like that could be the number 1 pick. It's crazy. And they also gave up the 2nd, the 3rd, and all that. Anyway, those were my takes from the draft. I'm going to get back to building if it's okay with you guys. It seems like things are kind of drying up in the chat. I really do appreciate everybody, and thank you for listening to my little spiel. I really just wanted to make that clear because we want to do the best job for everyone we can, but it's really hard when you have 3 hours of DMs with people about Sheets not being here. Like I can't control that. He's a human being, What am I doing with Dylan Brooks? Look, he fits in as a piece. He plays He plays every minute of that. He's not in foul trouble. I'm going to play some of him. I actually think there's a chance he might not play every minute tonight. Might not get that tonight. I think it's interesting to speculate in that way, like what's going to happen with Kennard, because I think that is a viable, that they could use one of these other guys to maybe play. Oops, let me grab I'm going back to my NBA page. When you mentioned that NBA starting on. Yeah, I think that playing Kennard would be an interest. If I wasn't going to play him, I think that trying to play some Kennard is not a bad idea. I do think that it started to work for them a little bit, and maybe that's a route you could consider going. Now, I know there was some question about Kennard's health and whatnot after the last game. I think my guess is that he is going to he's going to play. If I had to guess, he was limited to shoot. It's tough. It's a risky play, but it's one that I think you might be able to get away with in large field tournaments. But Dylan Brooks, I mean, we know what he is. There's not really any thoughts anybody's going to give you ever that are any different on Dylan Brooks. He is always going to project reasonably well because of the minutes he plays, and he's often going to go 3 for 15. If he ever hits half of his shots, you're going to feel like an idiot for not playing him. The rest of the time, you'll feel usually fine. He's not going to kill your lineups, but most of the time you'll feel like, why did I play Dylan Brooks? That's just what he is, and it's no different tonight. Anyway, I appreciate you all very much, and please give us a like on the video if you haven't already, and we'll go from there. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it, and